Hello everyone, welcome to the daily newspaper analysis of the Shankar IAS Academy, and today's video is for the date of 24th of March 2024. So these are the topics for discussion. The first article discusses about the MPLAD scheme. Next article discusses about the biodiversity found under the Antarctic ice shelf. The third article discusses about the promotion of the BHIM UPI transactions. And the last article discuss about the rise in the textile sector. So now without any much further delay, let's get into the articles of discussion along with the prelims practice question. Now look into the news. India sets new record with 7% rise in textile exports. Now why it is in the news? Because the Ministry of Textiles reported a 7% increase in textile and apparel exports, which includes handicrafts from April to December in 2024 compared to the previous year. So here the government implements have and multiple schemes have supported to boost the sector. Now looking into India's key facts related to the textile sector, India in the global ranking are among the top exporters of textile and apparel. And looking into India's raw material base, they have strong base in cotton, silk, wool, jute and man-made fibers, that is the MMF. And looking into the major market exports, India stand as a major export markets to USA, EU, that is the European Union, as well as the UK. Now looking into the government initiatives to boost the textile sector is first is PM Mitra, that is the Mega Integrated Textile Regions and Apparel Parks scheme. So PM Mitra Park scheme, it helps to develop world class textile infrastructure. Next is the product linked initiative, that is the PLI scheme, incentive. Here it focuses on the MMF fabric, that is the man-made fabrics, apparel and technical textiles to promote large scale manufacturing. Next is the National Technical Textiles Mission of 2020 to 2026. Here they support for research and development in specialty fibers, then geotextiles, medical textiles, sport textiles and also including biodegradable fibers, which includes milkweed and bamboo. So here they are also promoting sustainability. The next initiative, that is the Sammark, it is a scheme which acts as a placement linked scheme for bringing in skilling program for the textile workers to improve their skills related to the textile. Next is the minimum support price that we all know for cotton. Here it ensures stable supply and encourages cultivation. And finally, looking into for the innovation challenges, the textile sector is jointly conducted by the Startup India, which is a flagship initiative by the Government of India, and also along with the Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade Department. Now looking into the trade and regulatory measures related to the textile sector, first there is zero custom duty on the extra long staple cotton from 2024. So here extra long staple cottons are known to be having their centimeters to be more long and durable, and it helps in the efficiency of the cotton for the fabric making. Next is duty-free ELS cotton imports from India and Australia under the India-Australia Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement. Next is these two schemes, that is the rebate of state and central taxes levies, that is the ROSCL CTL scheme, and remissions of duties and taxes on exported products program. So here both the schemes help to enhance the competitiveness and promote zero rated exports through their trade agreements and through their duties, taxes and levies. Next is the minimum import price, that is the MIP, which prevents low quality fabric imports to India. Next is quality control orders. Here they protect the domestic producers from standard imports. And next is free trade agreement and preferential trade agreements. So preferential trade agreements are not free trade, but there are certain preferences to certain products. So here under both agreements there is expanding of the exports potential, especially for textile sector. So these all compromises the textile sector. So I hope the article is clear. Now let's move on to a prelims practice question. Which of the statements are right? And only 3 and 4 are right. Here the PLI scheme incentivizes large scale production of MMF based textile. These two program schemes promote tax-free exports. Now look into the news, why scientists are surprised to find life under Antarctica ice shelf. So here the mission was part of the Challenger 150, a UNESCO endorsed global initiative for deep sea research. So here the discoveries were announced with the findings provided new insights on how the ecosystem function beneath the floating sections of the Antarctica ice. So we all know the phenomenon of greening of Antarctica. So here there has been a lot of theories on how there has been a life behind under the water, and especially under the glaciers of Antarctica. So here the scientists have discovered potential new marine species on the Antarctic sea floor exposed by the A84 icebergs breakaway from the George 6 ice shelf. So from the Antarctic Glaciers Organization, so this is the uh, George 6 ice shelf, Alexander Island, showing ice flow into the ice shelf from both Antarctic Peninsula and the Alexander Island. So this is the map of the George 6 ice shelf. So this is one of the major ice glaciers found in the Antarctic region. Now looking into the key facts found, the ice shelves are floating extensions of the glaciers which are crucial for stabilizing the land ice and regulating the sea levels. So the largest ice shelves are Ron Fletcher and Ross McMurdo. So these are the ice shelves which is part of the uh, George 6 ice shelves. Now the discovery is under the depth of 1300 meter beneath the ice. The species found are ice fish, octopi, giant sea spiders, large coral sponges, and giant phantom jellyfish. So here the significance is there can be unexpected biodiversity despite the centuries of ice cover. So it can also lead to the increase of the diseases spread which is beneath the ice. Now, how this is possible and what would be the possible nutrient sources for these biodiversity? One is the ocean currents. So we all know the ocean currents will bring in the different density of different uh, waters across the earth. Next is the glacial meltwater, so it can also stand as a nutrient source for the creation of the biodiversity. And next is unknown biological and chemical processes sometimes. So here as a scientific initiative which is a part of the UNESCO's backed global deep sea research program. So these are the findings which was found through the news. So here also it is important because it helps us to study the climate change which has been happening for years, especially how if it affects the uh, Antarctica region, it can lead to the rise of the sea levels also. And also Antarctica is one of the places where it has been least researched for the marine science. So now the earlier marine science research was done in 2021 on knowing the biodiversity below the Antarctica, and now in 2025 it stands as a scientific discovery in the marine science also. So here it's a improvement to know different research and developments related to the marine science. Now which of the following statements are right? Here only 1 and 3 are right. Ice shelves form due to the accumulation and compaction of snow over time. So we all know how ice shelves are cascading one along. Next is the option 3, the Challenger 150 initiative is focused on deep sea exploration and is endorsed by UNESCO. Now look into the news. This news is from the PIB. Here the Union Cabinet have approved an incentive scheme for the financial year of 2024 to 25, offering a 0.15% incentive on the UPI payments up to 2000 for the small merchants. So first let us look into the BHIM UPI, that is the Bharat Interface for Money. So it's a mobile app developed by the National Payments Corporation of India to facilitate digital transactions using the UPI, that is the Unified Payments Interface. So here looking into the features, first it acts as a direct bank to bank payments. So here it enables money transfers through the UPI ID or the QR codes directly. Next is it has been a easy transaction. So here fast and seamless digital payments are done in an instant. Next is there is financial inclusion of India. So here it promotes digital transactions in both rural and semi-urban areas, and it supports offline payments also. So there is a need for digital internet also. That is the UPI 123 Pay, feature phone payments, and UPI Lite and Lite X are known for offline transactions. So many people wouldn't have known this support system. So now we can understand the importance of the news. Now in those UPI payments, the Union Cabinet have approved an incentive scheme for offering a 0.5 incentive on UPI payments up to 2000 for small merchants. So here we can see how there is integration and empowering merchants to increase their digital transactions and usage of the UPI for even more seamless transactions. Now looking into the key features of the incentive scheme, first is the transaction limit. It applies only to UPI transactions up to 2000, and looking into the incentive structure, it includes small merchants who can receive 0.15% per transaction, and it doesn't include large merchants. They are not eligible for the incentive. So it is for the small merchants who need to have their importance in the digital infrastructure. And next, transactions above 2000, here no incentives for any merchant category, so it is only applicable to up to 2000. Now looking into the reimbursement process, here 80% of the claims by acquiring banks will be dispersed unconditionally, and remaining 20% is subject to 10% release if technical decline is below 0.75, and 10% release if system uptime is above 99.5. So here it is nothing. We all know reimbursement is the coverage of the amount which is due to some technical or some unavoidable losses. So here when it comes to the reimbursement, 80% of the claims by the acquiring banks will be dispersed unconditionally, and the remaining 20% is subject to two parts. One is, first the 10% will be released if the technical decline, that is the if the system works below 0.7 percentage, then the 10% would be released, and the next 10% release is if the system is almost working, which is above 99.5%. So here both these systems should be working properly, and these are the criteria for the system. So these are very technical to understand, but just understand for the fact that during the reimbursement process, 80% will be given unconditionally and 20% will be given in divided processes. So now looking into the objectives of the scheme, first it is to boost the digital payments, that is to encouraging the adoption of low value UPI transactions so that everyone are aware with it. Next is strengthening payment infrastructure to improve the system's efficiency and reliability on digital transactions. Next is to expand the UPI in rural areas. So here increasing the digital penetration in tier 3 to 6 cities. And finally to promote indigenous digital solutions. So here the BHIM UPI is an indigenous product, and it ensures widespread usage, especially for our country India. Now this is the prelims practice question, and only the option 2 and 3 are right. Only small merchants are eligible, so under 2000 up to 2000 rupees. The scheme also aims to expand offline UPI payments. So the statement 1, the scheme provides an incentive 0.15 per transaction for not all UPI payments up to 5000. No. Now look into the news. Parliament Standing Committee on Finance calls for the GST relief on MPLAD fund. So why it is in the news? The Parliamentary Standing Committee has recommended waiving the GST on the Member of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme to enhance its effectiveness. So here looking into the key facts, the Member of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme, it is a central scheme which providing each MP, that is the Member of Parliament, 5 crore annually for the local area development, and it was launched in 1993, and it is funded by the central government, and it comes under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. And looking into the implementation and policy regulation, the funds are routed through the district authorities, and the MPs are recommending works for durable assets. So now you can understand the news even more. Here, according to the Parliament Standing Committee on Finance, calls for GST relief on the MPLAD fund. Now, what it contains. So here the Rajya Sabha, when it comes to Rajya Sabha MPs, they can choose the works in one or more districts of their elected state, and the nominated MPs, that is the of the Lok Sabha, can choose any districts in any state. Now the sectors covered would be 11 sectors. So here it includes also infrastructure, health and education, which is the one of the main sectors, and most of the fund being allocated. Now, what is the issues with the MPLAD? So here, according to in the Sakshi portal, here the MPs face issues and it needs improvement. So here the portal needs an improvement for their infrastructure development, and there is declining funds. So almost 4,000 crore have been released in the 17th Lok Sabha, and only there has been 65% decline due to the COVID-19 money freeze. And looking into the GST burden, here 18% of the GST are reducing the scheme's effectiveness. Next is the inadequate capital. Here the funds are inefficient to meet the district demands. So here we need to take in align with the community local members perspective also. Next is the sectoral disparity. So here the majority of the funds are allocated for only infrastructure, while education and health receive less. So among the main sectors, that is the infrastructure, education and health, it is only the infrastructure is getting paid more comparing to the education and health. So now what they are telling is, by waiving the GST, that is the 18% GST on the MPLAD, now the news is there needs to be waiving of those GSTs for more enhancing its effectiveness. So there is more fund allocation and there is more effective regulation of those fund along with the waiving of this 18% GST. So this is the news. Now let's look into the prelims practice question. Which of the following statements are right about the MPLAD scheme? So here only option second is right. It is nominated members of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha who can select any districts in any state for implementing projects under MPLAD. So the scheme is implemented by Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. No, the MPLAD's funds can be utilized for the construction of private infrastructure provided it benefits the local community. No, and the funds under the PMLADs are directly allocated to MPs. No. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to give a like, comment and share.